Good morning, everyone. Oh, here we are again. We worked on our splash tones here and the hair on the boy, so that worked out pretty good yesterday. So we're gonna work on the rest of the female. We'll see what we could get done with the girl. See if we get her hair done next, I'm thinking, and also grab my water brush. Good thing everything is in easy reach, which is idealistic for your workstation. Everything in easy reach, so if you forget something, you can just bend over and grab it and get to work. So, we're gonna do her hair next and do her tail and get that finished up. That should be pretty easy. I know we're starting a little bit earlier today than normal, but I figured since I'm ready to go, might as well. I did print up a color swatch. I found this on the internet. I'm not sure where. I just think I did a Google search for color swatch and downloaded the image and print up on cardstock. So this is thicker paper here. So it's not a perfect color swatch, not for what I want to do here, but what I was thinking of doing with these lines, instead of writing the numbers down on these, I'll do the color there and then write the numbers in here, because the numbers for these color pencils that I have not yet swatched yet are actually pretty short. I don't know if you could see that. So this is the black 499. So this should be able to fit in there with a nice pen. And excuse me, get that color swatch. I may trim it down a little bit. I could always, when I print it up, make it a little bit bigger, make it easier, but I just didn't do it this time. For some reason, my printer keeps creating this black line on the side of the page, so I'm not entirely sure. I gotta look at that. But I will do the color swatch later, off camera. I don't think you guys need to watch that. And I also set up my paper towel and my paper here, so it's a little bit easier to do our thing. Just checking my system out here real quick. Everything looks good. There is a little bit of laggy going on right now, which is kind of weird, but I'm not entirely sure what causes that. But after a while, it goes away. My bitrate picks back up, and but right now it's a little bit unstable. I don't really have a whole lot going on. Sometimes I wonder if, because I have a few tabs different opened up, and I'm wondering if it's Facebook. Sometimes it just, I think it keeps things constantly going, doing its thing. Alrighty. So here we go. We're gonna work on her. I got off topic. Sorry about that. So we have some yellows. I could probably color swatch them at the same time, kind of get them out of the way. And I don't have to do that later, instead of doing it on here and then doing it back on here again. So we're gonna do, excuse me. That's a white, so that's 401, that's gonna be here. This one is 404. Let's just put their name down on here. I don't worry about the date. So, put my cap back on. And get a nice load up of color on here. I'm just going to go about halfway and then come in with my water brush and wet about half of that. Let's see if we can get you guys a little bit closer here. And I bet you my focus is off now too, so let me get that adjusted. There we go. Should always just have that window up. And there we go. My light is brightened up right now, so no, that's about it. Okay. So there is the yellow. And next we got 407 here. And we'll do the same thing on this one. Gonna go about halfway. And come in with my water brush. Yeah, I know this isn't watercolor paper, being that it's cardstock that I'm using here. But it does give you still a stable structure to work off of. So then that way, what was I thinking? You can still see what your colors are, and it's not going to warp the paper like it does regular old printer paper, which is what I was using yesterday. Trying to load this up fairly heavy. So then that way, I have a lot of pigment to work with when I use the water brush. Keeping my pencils in order over here. There's the fade out. Right-handed folks, go the other way. I go this way because it's easier. I'm in my right brain anyway, so just teasing. Alright, so go this way. On this next one, orangey one. I've got maybe 1 or 2 more colors I'll swatch out here. Because then I start getting to the reds. And I don't really need reds for blonde hair. Ooh. I definitely like this one. That one certainly would add some lowlights. My daughter being a natural blonde, unlike me, she kind of gives me inspiration on how her hair looks to a degree, on how to do blonde color hair. And I don't know, maybe that's why, that's why I do a lot of blonde hair characters. A lot of my characters that I color and stuff are blonde. Excuse me. Yeah, let me take a drink of water. Okay. Is her hair. I think she gives me a lot of inspiration on, you know, how blonde hair reacts to the sun as it bleaches it, and the lights and all that other good stuff. Nice little fade on those colors. Excuse me, I don't know what, every morning, I don't know if it's just because my atmosphere is really dry. I wonder if I should do my dehumidifier in here during the day. Alright, or not dehumidifier, humidifier, excuse me. I know what I'm talking about. Alright, yeah, I think that's getting more into the orangey area, more for the red hair, so I don't think we'll swatch this next one. It was a debate. I know we did those browns yesterday. That one wasn't too bad. I think this one was the last one I did. Right there. To keep these in order, I'm going to just write down these numbers on these pencils here real quick. Because this one is actually all the way down here, and I don't want to, excuse me, mess up the order that I have set up over here. So let me write these down. So we got 418, 421, 426. I could probably move this a little bit closer to me, so I'm not leaning halfway across my desk. 432. 430. 419. 429. So, halfway through the week. Anyone got any plans for the weekend? I have my motorcycle. I am planning on... Oh, some of these numbers kind of got backwards on these, but oh well, I'll leave them in the same order that they came out of the original packaging. No, Friday off, so we'll see what kind of streaming I do on Friday. Got some big plans for Friday evening. Gonna go to the casino, lose some money, wish me luck. I would like to gain some money instead of lose it, but that's not why you go to the casino. You go there to test your luck, but not necessarily be lucky in winning any hard, cold cash. Funky 3 I just did there. On to the second half of the book, so we're halfway there. Yep, I gotta take the motorcycle in. I was thinking of doing that on Friday. Take a Lyft ride home. Used to be a Lyft driver. Not since COVID. Business kind of flattened out at that point. Not many people going out. Businesses shut down for the lockdown stages. I didn't mind it so much. Yes, I did the weekend bar rush, the messy times of the night, I guess you could say. I have had a few messes. But all in all, I mean, it was decent money. That time of my life before COVID hit, I needed that extra cash. And I mean, not that I had only that job. I did have my normal job at the same time, doing the same thing I did then as I do now. But my goal at the time when I was working 2 jobs, a Lyft driver and working my real job, was to get out of debt. Who knew that my plans in 2019 and 2020, even into 2021 a little bit, getting out of debt was a great timing. Of course, it could have been better. I could have done it a lot sooner, but you know what? Hindsight is 2020, right? 2 more to go. Their numbering system on here is kind of funky. And I think this is a 72-piece set. Six left on here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So there's 18 on my handy calculator. So that, really? No way. Yeah, so 54. So how many do I have then? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, okay, so it's a 48 set. Don't even know how many watercolor pencils I have in this set. I have to use a calculator to figure it out. That's okay. So there they are. Let's see. We got 483 is this one here. So 483 is right up in here. So I was a little bit further off. I was going to put it all the way down here. I mean, I suppose it would have been fine, but... So this color, I think, would work really good for her hair. Just saturate that pigment up. You can't even see it. Sorry. I need to get my Discord hooked up and maybe have that plugged in. So then if anyone comes in, they can chat with me on Discord. So those are the colors I think we'll work with for her hair. Thanks for sitting through my semi-painful process of color swatching. All right. It just seems weird that this set is only 48. But, so I thought it was a 72 set. And this is only a 54 swatch page. But either way, it's plenty. We could use 404 to help smooth off the blonde area. Let me see if we can kind of zoom up a little bit or get up out of the way a little bit, and then let me turn on my autofocus again, might help for a few. All right, so there is that. I'm gonna open up my curtain. Maybe I'll have a little bit extra light on this side of the room. Not really. Sun's still kind of in an odd spot where it's not coming in through the window very well. All right, so we could definitely use that for some of the darker areas, I think. I don't know if I'm definitely not using 445, so I could put that one away. Or not 445, 416. I'm looking at the wrong side of the page. I don't think that one would work. 461, possibly. Maybe in conjunction with 483. Kind of like work on these darker areas over here. That's kind of funky. We'll see how that works. All right. So I'll put this off to the side. I'm going to turn her. Just so she'll be easier to work, I think. So let's start at the tip, at the bottom. I gotta sharpen my pencil here. It's a little nubby. Oh, but that's the one thing that is not within close reach because we rearranged my room and somebody wanted to put my sharpeners in a different spot. Alright, so we got two different sharpeners that I like to use. This old traditional one. And the Tagal I got on Amazon. A YouTuber, Sarah Renee Clark, she, sorry, I'm just getting tucked back into my chair here. She did a review on pencil sharpeners. This was one of them that she did a review on. Pretty cheap, inexpensive. And it opens and closes. It kind of worked there. It doesn't close like it used to when I first got it. I think after a use or two, then it just stops moving around as much. But you can get so many different tips off of it. I use that same sharpener on this. So you can get a very fine tip or a longer lead on there and stuff. So it's kind of fun. Go in and sharpen this one up here a little bit. I think this one is going to be a finer sharpness. Yeah. It's kind of working. It works, it's just the angle of the original sharp is steeper than what I just did. I don't know if you can tell that. Put that off to the side. But, that is on number 2. If I go to number 5, then I'll be able to, yeah, get more of a slope on there. I don't know if you can notice the difference, but that is much different. But this one's not getting it very sharp. I want it nice and sharp, so I'm going to put this over my garbage and sharpen this. Okay. That's a little bit better. So, this one was the brightest yellow I had. So I'm going to kind of come in here with this and try to lay down as much pigment as I can in the areas that I want to keep yellow. And this is a lot like what you would do with blending with pencils to some degree. I don't know if you can tell. I am laying down some pigment on here. But this yellow is more going to be in the, excuse me, lighter recesses of the hair area. Sorry if I'm making too much noise with my clipboard. It's got a hard back on it, and without that pad, it picks up the grill of the texture of the table more. Okay, there's that. I'm going to come in with this slightly darker yellow and kind of go around the outside a little bit. Maybe come in a little bit in the middle. Because the hair is not one flat color. Not unless you have it freshly dyed, of course, but even then, sometimes it's not one flat color either. Putting a lot of pressure on my pencil here. It's a nice thing about these watercolor pencils. They do have a lot of strength to them, so you can really apply some good pressure to these Faber-Castells. I don't know about because I honestly think these are a rip-off brand. Like you get from Wish, it says it's Faber-Castell, but it's not really. It may be their recipe at the time was not quite 100% right. Quality control came in and said, these are not the quality of pencils that we want. These things have degraded, or the pigment saturation isn't right, or whatever quality likes to pick up on. And they probably still sold them as Faber-Castell because they were already branded by the barrel and stuff. But forgot all about this area here. It's all right. But they sell it at a cheaper price. Cheaper price than Faber-Castell, but probably still jack up the price too, you know. Get that extra profit margin in there, because that's what companies like to do. They like to drive up cost. A lot of times, you know, I'm business major, so sorry, some of that comes kind of creeping out. Overhead, you know, COVID's been causing the supply and demand, obviously. A lot of folks noticed that in the beginning stages with the whole toilet paper and paper towels and other factors. But now it's other stuff that's coming into supply and demand issues, and drives cost up. Employees don't want to go to work because they think they might get sick, or they have gotten sick because they were so close to other employees that transmitted the disease, and now staffing isn't there to produce the stuff because they've got so many employees out sick that they're probably paying to stay home. And not making as much product is not making as much money, so then they increase the cost of the product, and blah, 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 blah. It's a never-ending cycle. We've actually been doing that since the dollar was created. That never-ending cycle of money exchanging hands, where things get more and more expensive. Once more money is available, the more expensive things get because people can afford it. If we had a flat rate back in the 60s, for example, and never progressed to an increase in wages or anything, we would still probably be paying 75 cents a gallon for gas, maybe even less. But people want more money so they can do more things, have more things. And so then employers pay to do that. And then people spend their money, and other companies with what some would seem luxury items or non-essentials, TVs and entertainment systems and movies and all that other stuff, are seeing a boom in sales. And then they're like, you know what? We're selling this too cheap then. If people can afford it, we need to increase the price. And then they increase the price. So that's just inflation. That's the fact of life. Never make enough money. Never be able to beat it. Inflation. And Well, what do? You just have to ride the waves and keep trying to excel and move on. But yeah, a lot of folks need to watch what they spend their money on. What's a need over a want? Some folks don't really do that good of a job. And I am saying that I am not guilty. I am very, very guilty of putting my wants over my needs. I don't know if it's a lot to do with my upbringing. Didn't have a lot when I was a kid. Now I can afford certain things. Well, not anymore, but could at one point. Want to get that. My nephew graduated high school last year, and even before he graduated, he did a lot of that too. Put his wants before his needs and blew a lot of his money on silly things. And I mean, he's a kid. He needs to learn that stuff, and people need to try to tell him that's, that's probably not the way to go, and which, you can. We did tell him. But teenagers, I remember those days. If you don't, watch kids and learn from them again, because kids have that bullheaded attitude. Sorry if you're offended, but it's just the way it is. I had it. I know everything, and I know what I can do and what I don't need to do, and I'm going to do it my way. Her hair is still looking pretty flat. And that's okay, because we'll get it figured out here. It looks more like a deeper yellow now. I don't know if you can tell that or not. I'll get you a little bit closer, see. Gonna check the focus, see if I need to change the focus on there. There we go, much better. Right now I'm just kind of blending in those pencils together, and I'm going to do the same thing I did yesterday. Grab the pencil and go in with this darker. I'm going to go do this 483. Get a little bit of water on there. Give it a couple of squeeze to add some water to the end here. Hopefully I don't do it too much. Sometimes that happens. Scoot up a little bit. Okay. Sometimes that happens where I'll give the brush a squeeze. I do it over here. Too much water will come out. End up with a very fat loaded tip. I want to darken this area up. This red or pinkish ink over here really kind of helped uh, darken some of these areas, which is actually working out for my benefit a bit here. Again, I don't have a fan on this, but it's been pretty dry, which is actually kind of weird to some regard, because South Dakota, snow melted equals moisture, but the house is still really dry. I would think that some of that moisture would have improved the atmosphere, but not looking like the case here. Really trying to lay that pigment on. This stuff is actually not that dark, but it's working pretty good, honestly. Could go back to the browns like we did yesterday, the skin tones and stuff. You could even go in, since this tip is really wet, it'll really lay down some color. Go in here and just chunk it out down there. You can see little bits and particles. That's all pigment that's kind of flaked off of the wet part of the pencil. You can kind of come back in here with the water brush, blend that out a little bit. Not really set that back, that's cool. Blot my brush off a little bit. Alright. Dark up here. You can kind of come down with a few streaks. Follow those hairline indications there that the artist had put down. Camille. And it's a little shaky this morning. Could be because my arm isn't rested very well. There we go. That's a little bit better. The nice thing about the water brush, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but when I was doing those streaks, like couple of these over here, as the pigment was fading out, kind of blended into the hair. Which works quite well. Alright, definitely adding some definition in there, so that's good. Clean my water brush up a little bit. Over here. We could come in with this orangey color. Haven't done anything with this yet. Work on some of those streaks a little bit. Who did not see that? Got a little bit of glare from the water on there right now, but not much I can do about it sometimes, and I do apologize. Yeah. Sometimes when you're really close to a picture, like you guys are right now, it's kind of hard to see the big picture. I'll get the camera zoomed out here a little bit so you can kind of see a little bit more what's going on here, but sorry for the noise. See what that looks like, but I think that actually looks much more three-dimensional on that one. I think I need a little bit more color in through here, though. This is a darker yellow. I know it's hard to see right now, but that is looking better. Adding that three-dimensional. It won't take long for that to dry. Clean my water brush off again. I filled this up yesterday, and you probably can't tell, but there's only about that much water that's been used. Pretty crazy. Turn my focus back on. Sorry about that. But yes, definitely liking her hair. So I think we will be good on that. I'm going to just set this here for now and put these bad boys back. And last one. Okay. So we got her tail. So I was thinking of trying a few minutes on that one here. Let's try, because this is more of a teal color. I want to get my paper in the wet paint. It's going to be a bit before that dries. So let me get you adjusted over here. 454. Where is 454 at? Wasn't that far away from the... Oh, there it is. Right here. There's my phone going up the chain again. Here, let me see if I can get you closer for these color swatches. And bring you back into focus, too. There we go. There's one. That color is pretty good for her tail. Here's the next one. Actually, that's good for her tail. It's like, wait a second, it's more for his tail? No. Her tail is more blue. His is more green. And this one's kind of getting more into the green. 461, make sure I'm still on track. Yep. If I don't check it every once in a while, might get off. This is definitely more like his tail. But yeah, some of my colors, that I took them exactly out of the package and put them in this book here. And I like this book that I use for my... I don't even need that anymore. I took it out. I don't need it. I like this book that I have all my color pencils and stuff in. Keeps it all in a nice spot. These ones, what I want to call the mock or generic Faber-Castell or low grade, actually came in a pretty nice case. It was a roll up pencil case kind of thing. It was cloth with leather like trimmings. That one's a good one. That's for the darker areas, I think. I don't want to get too dark on her tail. I can definitely get really dark on here if need be. But yeah, I think it was Wish or something that I got it on. I don't remember. I Wish you gotta watch out what you're getting on there too, because sometimes you don't get exactly what you're ordering. Or maybe it was eBay. That could have been too. I think that would be the darkest I would go with this one. This next one seems kind of light though, this 453, but don't judge a book by its color because you may not get the actual color. Yeah, this looks a lot darker. I mean, the tips kind of tell, but water changes things. Water definitely changes things. Yep, I'm thinking that's too dark, but we'll put it away. And I think this one's too dark, put that one away. But we know what they look like, so if we need to pull them back out, we got a color swatch now. Yay! Yay me. Alright, let's do the same thing on this one. This one was the lighter blue, which is a lot like what her body is already. I'm just going to go on down the center. I'm just laying down some color. Nothing fancy, really. Oh, we got that on her top. I gotta take care of. Nothing fancy. This one seemed to be a lot softer than the yellows. I'm just gonna lay this one down. It looks choppy, but once we get it wet, actually it's not going to be so bad. I do some in the middle. And yes, this scraping noise is grating on my nerves right now. I mentioned this before, but I just hate pencil on paper. I don't know if you can hear this or not, but it is awful. If I had some background music, this probably wouldn't be so bad. Or if I had some headphones. I need somebody to talk to when I do this stuff. Yes, this was my choice to put me through this torture. There. Done. But it just comes out so nice. I just want to lift a little bit of color in here on her top. There we go. I think that's done. That really doesn't need a lot of work, honestly. And instead of doing an ink layer like I did, you could still do a watercolor pencil layer first. Wetting it down. Smooth it off as much as possible because you're not going to get a smooth gradient. I can promise you that. And the same thing with ink. Ink didn't really even get that smooth for us either. However, once we've gone in with these other layers, you really can't tell like where the ink issues were at. To some degree, you probably could, but I mean, for the most part, it's blending in quite well. Then you'll kind of see when we get to the background, because the background is like, oh my god, help me. Trying to do a nice smooth gradient towards her bottom here. Next stage, clean my brush off for a second. Push that pigment around. Clean my brush off. I mean, I could turn the work the other way and then push it the other way. I find it's easier to push this way. versus coming the other way. My right hand kind of stinks at it. I have horrible control. I tend to go outside the lines a lot easier. Go. New section. Get this done, and we'll do the boy tomorrow. Get him done. And maybe work on some of the background. I do want to get this piece, missed a spot, finished today, this week. Not today, but this week. And then we can work on our commissioned like project. It's not actually commissioned. It's more of a project I want to work on for an upcoming fundraiser that's coming up in August for Call to Freedom. We'll add more definition back of the tail. Just kind of blend this out, smooth it off. What should be that? American flag with a rose in the front, I'm thinking. The American flag, I was thinking of doing it like a memorial flag, the black and white version, black, white, and toned gray. And the rose on the front of it, do a red and blue rose combination, one rose, but integrate red and blue on the petals. And then, of course, the green stem, that's going to be traditional. That's not going to change any. Be symbolic for firefighters, for veterans from the military, and for police department. Trying some of this darker blue in here. Trying to get some water towards the end of my brush here. I need to sharpen this one, and now that it's wet, it's a little late to do that. Whatever. Just kind of coming back in with this dark blue, bringing in some shadows. Could use another color in here to help with the shadows, like maybe a gray. Or there's other stuff that could be used to bring in shadows as well. But I personally like the color gradient. Actually, I'll clean my brush off here. There we go. I want this a little bit lighter in here, so I'm going to push this paint around. And then we have our dumpy brush. And we can kind of pick up some of that moisture. I want this area a little bit shinier or brighter because that is kind of like her hip. So there we go. Let's zoom out. Take a look, see how that is looking. It's still a lot of water there, yes. That's okay. All right. Let's see. I want to make this side a little bit darker, but I think it's already as dark as it could go. So that blue that we were not very happy with, I'm going to pull that in here a little bit. Well, I mean, not saying not very happy with, but was a little bit too dark. Actually, it might be the ticket for this side. There we go. Pushes that more into the background. I don't know, I think I'm doing pretty darn good here today. We got a lot more definition on her. Okay, every time I see some of these little lines, it's her hair. It's just one line of hair. So it keeps throwing me off sometimes, but that is not a hard line right there. Everything is looking phenomenal. Love her blonde hair. Definitely has some difference or variance to it. I could add more depth to it, but right now I think I'm good. When you sit back from it, the camera doesn't really do it much justice, honestly. See if I can focus it a little bit better. Kinda. That actually has pretty good definition. I mean, if you think about where we came from and where we're at now, this is a huge difference. His tail obviously is going to need some work, but I think we'll be able to make it look a lot like her tail there. And then once we get the mermaids done, we'll do a background. And I was thinking of maybe doing something kind of like a wavy little background or something. But I think this is our lot for today. Got quite a bit done. We just technically have 3 spots more to go. We got his tail, and then we've got the background, and then we've got the hearts. The hearts, I'm thinking maybe just come in with a white pencil or pen or whatever, and highlighting them that way or something. I don't know. Still up to debate. I do want to bring them out a little bit, make them pop, but we'll figure it out. And when you do, I'm sure to look awesome. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a good and safe day. You be good. Blah, I already said that. Alrighty. Yes, we will see you in the next one. Maybe it will be as early tomorrow, but roughly 8:30 is the start time, is um the intention. We will see you, and have a great rest of your week.